What's good, y'all? So, topic for today's video is choosing sides. And I'm talking about choosing between gay and straight. Not your sexuality, but your social circles, really, right? The lifestyle you want to live, the people in your life, that kind of stuff. You feel me? And basically, this stems from a recent conversation I had with two of my high school best friend, and then my best friend who came after him, who we had issues in the past, right? And I've talked about him before. Right. But my high school best friend, Diego, right? He's El Salvadorian. That's been my boy since sophomore year. Cause he came to our school. He didn't start out as a freshman with the rest of us. He came in sophomore year. But we clicked immediately, right? And that's like the love I have for him, like that's like we always hear, you feel me? Like I become like that's bae right there. Like, bro, I love you so much. Like it's a type of friendship that two niggas don't usually have. Right? It's the type of friendship that you might see like white people. Like white people, if you saw a white guy sitting another white guy's lap, you probably wouldn't bat an eye because white guys do that kind of shit, right? And that's a similar or even Hispanic, right? Hispanic, Latino, the other ethnicities, them having those types of friendships, being that comfortable with each other and that kind of stuff is normal. Like it's just not a big deal, you feel me? And that's how I was with him, you know. Like I'm able to express my love in that way because like I love you, you're my boy, right? And we always been like that, right? So obviously, like we after high school we didn't go to the same college. He went to UC San Diego, I went to Cal State Dominguez. And we kind of fell off after that, but not because of the distance, mainly because he was going through stuff, and we also couldn't really talk like that. But we got back, you know, probably like a little bit into my freshman year. He told me what was going on. I was like, okay, cool, bro. Like, I understand, you know, it's this and this and that going on. Like, I get it, right? So we've been cool ever since then. I'm in Atlanta now. He's still in San Diego because he ended up loving it out there. So that's where he lives, right? We both used to live in Inglewood in LA, but yeah, he's in San Diego. I moved out here in November of 2022, right? So we don't talk like all the time, but you know, I always make sure like I, you know, hit him up on his birthday. We both Leos. Our birthdays are 7 days apart. His is August 7th. Mine is on the 14th. You feel me? So I always make sure I hit him up, you know, tell him I love him, all that kind of stuff. Right. And recently, probably I say like a month ago, right? He hit me up on Instagram and he was telling me, you know, like how he was really like proud of my videos and like, you know, my journey and all this kind of stuff. And I didn't even know he watched my videos, to be honest. So I was like, oh, thanks, bro. Like, I love you too. And you know, all the mushy gushy stuff, right? But yeah, like homie was really supportive. Like I told him about my sexuality years ago, and you know, he don't give a fuck. But yeah, he was real supportive, you know, telling me all that kind of stuff in the message, and I appreciate that for real. Like, you didn't have to reach out or anything like that, right? So yeah, I really appreciate that. And I, you know, it's one of the reasons I love my boy. That's just the type of person he is, you feel me? Like he always makes sure, I mean, because we're both Leos, like we get each other in that sense, like, you know, he always makes sure that I know he loves me, and I always make sure that he knows that I still love him. You feel me? That type of stuff. Now, when it comes to my other best friend, the one who I met going into college, I've talked about him before. This is the friend that outed me to my mom, threw a rock through my window, wanted to fight me, all this kind of stuff, right? And when all that went down, obviously I was hurt. We didn't talk for 2 years, right? But when it went down, I assumed that it was because of his mental health. His mental health it's not the best. You feel me? And he has his own, stuff that he's dealing with. And that's what I chalked it up to, right? I didn't take it personally or anything like that. It still hurt. Like, that was my best friend for 5 years. That was my brother, my family. Like, we did everything together, right? But I assumed that it was because of the mental health thing, right? Now, 2 years after that, we was able to more or less reconcile. I never really got the full details of why that happened. More vague, it was this nigga and that person. They were speaking on your name, saying this. Saying that I was saying this and this and that. Ultimately, the reason he gave wasn't really adding up, but I didn't press the issue, right? Because I wanted to be friends again. I'm just not the best at holding a grudge. Feel me? That's not really me. Even for shit like that, it took a minute, but I forgave my boy, right? But fast forward to a few weeks ago, maybe like a week and a half ago, right? My boy hits me up just on some random shit, telling me like I need to watch He-Man Masters of the Universe on Netflix and shit. It's a pretty normal conversation for us. We always talking about like anime and Star Wars and all that type of shit. So I was like, okay, I'll check it out. And then right after that, he hits me with, why are you talking about like homosexuality in your videos? Like, are you doing this for attention? Are you doing this because it sells? Like, and him coming to me with all this, I'm like, first of all, why do you care? And he's like, why do I care? Look, bro, I'm your friend, so naturally I want to tell you when you coming off like a bitch and all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, this is all through text. And I'm just sitting here looking at it, and that shit pissed me off so much, bro. Like, I never really thought my nigga was homophobic like that. It never showed the way you would assume it shows with most homophobic people. But that shit, like, to come out of nowhere with that, like, bro, we haven't talked in like a few months maybe, and you coming at me with this? First of all, why do you watch my videos anyway? This is not for you. Or is it? I really don't know at this point. Either way, I don't care. But I bring up both of them to bring up like to say it's two opposite ends of the spectrum. On one side, I got a lot of support and love from one of my friends. On the other side, I got a lot of homophobia, and I think that's really all I can title that. It's just, I don't understand why you care. I don't understand why you feel the need to address this to me. Like, but regardless, I could care less at this point. I have to let that friendship go completely, because that's not the energy that I need in my life, right? And that goes hand in hand with just the overall topic of this conversation, right? It's not just him. Like, he's back in LA. So, we don't kick it like that anymore. But also, being out here, like I've mentioned several times previously, for the past 10 years, I've had the same 3 friends, right? These been my boys, the ones I do everything with, the ones I, do all types of bullshit and shenanigans. You get drunk, get high, be at the beach, cutting up, acting a fool, you know, all that type of stuff. Hopping fences, breaking into places, everything. Like shit I love to do with my niggas in general, right? But all that was before I really accepted who I was completely, right? Before I embraced my sexuality as part of my identity and unapologetically, right? And, you know, coming out is a journey for any and everybody who chooses this path, you feel me? So that's what I mean by choosing sides. Like, it's kind of like you either have to stay in the closet to keep your straight friends, or at least some of them, you feel me? To keep that circle, to keep that copacetic, or you come out completely and understand that you're gonna have to cut some of those ties and lose some of those friendships because you decided to be your complete self. It's sad, it sucks, it's unfortunate, but that's the reality for a lot of people who look like me and are wired the way I'm wired. You feel me? And, you know, I even take it a step further, you know, just making new friends, you feel me? And I'm sure I've said this before, when you're a straight presenting, bi, fluid individual, you feel me? You're gonna have to come out to basically every new friend you meet most of the time. Some people can pick up on the subtleties, like when you're not using like certain pronouns or just like being your open self. You feel me? Some people can pick up on that. They few, but some of them, and honestly, most of the time, it's girls, bisexual girls. That's been my experience. Anytime someone is known before I've told them, it's been a girl and she's been bisexual. She's been on that level with me. You feel me? But when it comes to making friends, like, even when like I go skating sometimes, right? Like I'll be chopping it up with niggas here and there, and you know they seem cool and well sometimes, but it's always that, you know, damn, eventually, you know, if we gonna be, you know, friends, we gonna be cool, we gonna rock it like that. Eventually, I'm gonna have to tell these niggas, and they might look at me different, they might treat me different, they might, you know, not want to fuck with me no more just because of that. And, you know, you got to accept that reality and be ready to cut those ties, but it doesn't really make it any easier when you have to do that every time. You got to be ready to lose people every time that you tell them. Just is what it is. But that's all for this one. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what y'all think. And if you want, drop some topics y'all want me to cover in the comments. Okay?